infantry spotted. Enemy APC spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy APC spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Under control. Out. Position cleared and under control. Let's move.
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy forces spotted. Cleared and under control. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy APC. Do you copy?
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy taking
Enemy
it
forces
down.
spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
We got hostile armor.
Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted.
Do you copy?
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Enemy jet spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Do you copy?
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy APC spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
We got enemy units on the move.
Enemy infantry spotted. We're losing this battle. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy APC spotted.
Enemy aircraft.
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy units on the move. Enemy aircraft.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Control restored. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy units.
Enemy infantry
Do you
spotted.
copy?
Enemy units. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted. The enemy is in control. Work harder, soldiers.
Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy jet spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Inbound.
APC identified. We've regained enemy forces spotted. Work, man. Enemy forces spotted.
We got company overhead. Over.
Enemy forces spotted. All clear. Position under control. Out.
We got company overhead. Over.
Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. On our perimeter. Enemy APC spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy sniper spotted.
Hostile flick inbound. Over.
Enemy APC identified. Enemy APC identified. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy APC spotted.
Enemy units on enemy activity. You copy. Enemy vehicle.
Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy for supplies at your position.
Online and transmitting.
Hey, thanks.
Enemy units on the move. Company overhead. Over.
Enemy sniper spotted.
Inbound. Over.
Enemy jet spotted.
We got a company overhead.
Enemy chopper over. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy aircraft.
Enemy sniper
Company
spotted.
overhead. Over.
Hostile forces spotted.
Over.
Over.
Hostile split inbound. Over.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Outpost being overrun.
Hostile chopper identified. Hostile APC.
Enemy infantry spotted. All clear. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy jet spotted.
Enemy forces
Enemy
over.
infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy forces over.
Enemy infantry
Enemy troops
spotted.
identified. Do you copy?
Enemy infantry
spotted.
forces
Over.
over.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Perimeter. Hostile infantry enemy troops
spotted.
identified.
Over.
Do you copy? Hostiles on the enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy troops.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy units.
Enemy infantry spotted. 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 All clear. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Enemy forces over.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Online and transmitting.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Over.
Enemy units on the move.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Let's move.
Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostiles on the ground.
Online and transmitting.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move. Enemy troops.
Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Immediately on you.
Enemy jet spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV transmitting on this line.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy forces over. Enemy APC spotted. Hostile APC.
Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks. I owe you.
Hostile forces.
Enemy forces over. Enemy forces
Hostile
over.
enemy
Enemy
sniper
helicopter
spotted.
spotted. Enemy
Enemy
forces over.
infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry
units on the move.
over.
UAV transmitting.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy forces over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Hostile infantry
Enemy
spotted.
infantry
Over.
spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Transmitting on this mark.
Hostile jet spotted. Over.
Supplies at your position.
What you doing?
Enemy sniper
What you
spotted.
doing?
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy armor spotted.
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy forces hostile identified. Enemy spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy forces.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy armor spotted.
Enemy forces. Over. Spotted. Over. Enemy air assets. Over. Hostile jet spotted. Over. We got company overhead. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy
Enemy
forces.
car
Over.
spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy APC. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces
units
spotted.
on the move.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy troops identified.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy
Enemy
sniper
sniper
spotted.
spotted.
Over.
Enemy APC spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Identified.
Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy forces.
Enemy
Hostile forces
infantry
spotted.
spotted.
Over.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy aircraft.
Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Supplies at your position.
Enemy forces. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile chopper identified. Enemy unit hostile chopper
Enemy armor spotted.
Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy APC spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy troops identified.
Enemy
You
forces
copy?
spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy armor spotted.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy
Hostile armor
infantry
strike.
spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy helicopters. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile split inbound. Over.
Enemy armor spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy jet
units on the
spotted.
move.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy
Enemy
sniper
troops.
spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy troops.
Enemy infantry spotted. We've lost control
Enemy
of an
troops.
outpost. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces.
Enemy helicopters spotted. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy unit forces. Over. Hostile chopper. Over.
Supplies at your
Hostile
position.
forces spotted. Hostile
Over.
forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Position. cleared and under control. Enemy sniper spotted! Enemy sniper spotted! Enemy forces spotted! Enemy forces spotted! Enemy sniper spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted!
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy forces spotted!
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy forces spotted! Enemy forces spotted! Cleared and under control. Enemy forces spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy forces spotted!
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Enemy infantry spotted!
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy forces spotted! Enemy car spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy jet spotted! Enemy jet spotted!
UAV offline.
Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted!
Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy
forces. Over.
Enemy sniper spotted! Enemy sniper spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted!
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy car spotted! Enemy car spotted!
No on fuel. Transmission.
Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy forces spotted!
Attack this position.
Enemy infantry
forces.
Enemy sniper spotted!
Snipers on our perimeter.
Enemy sniper spotted! Enemy forces spotted!
Hostile forces spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy troops. Sniper.
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy sniper spotted! Enemy armor spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted!
Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy infantry spotted!
Enemy tank is inbound. Over.
Enemy infantry
troops identified.
spotted!
Do you copy? Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy sniper spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy sniper spotted!
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted!
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy infantry
Enemy
spotted!
troops identified. Vehicle
Enemy
spotted. Over.
infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy infantry
Hostile vehicle
spotted!
spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
UAV is
Enemy infantry! Enemy infantry! Enemy infantry
forces
spotted!
over. Sniper.
online and transmitting.
Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Enemy four snipers on our perimeter. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy APC. Do you copy?
Enemy helicopter spotted! Enemy infantry spotted! Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy jet spotted.
We got
Enemy
company
infantry
overhead.
spotted.
Over. Enemy aircraft.
UAV online and transmitting.
All clear.
Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. We got company overhead. Company.
Enemy air jets spotted.
Over.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy APC spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Over.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy APC spotted.
Online and transmitting.
We're going over to defense. Here. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy forces. Over. Hostile flick inbound. Over.
UAV transmitting
Hostile
on
flick
this mark.
inbound. Over. Hostile chopper identified. Hostile flick inbound. Over. Enemy units on the move. We got hostile armor.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry
Enemy
spotted.
activity. Do you copy?